The fall of the USSR in 1991 gave Ukraine its independence as a sovereign country. It was one of the most 10 advanced countries in Europe. It had been 20% of the Russian production, of the Russian market forces, of the Russian manufacturing. It was a powerhouse. But what happened? Is it still really the independent country it once was? Did it lose more than the protection of the Soviet Union when the Soviet Union dissolved in 1991?
Good evening, and Merry Christmas to all Americans across our great country. During these last few months, you and I have witnessed one of the greatest dramas of the 20th century, the historic and revolutionary transformation of a totalitarian dictatorship, the Soviet Union, and the liberation of its peoples. As we celebrate Christmas, this day of peace and hope, I thought we should take just a few minutes to reflect on what these events mean for us as Americans.
The Ukraine-Russia story is complicated. It's not clear-cut. Everybody's had a little bit of Ukraine over the last 1,000 years. The Golden Horde, the Lithuanian Empire, the Hungarian Empire, the Kingdom of Poland, the Ottoman Empire, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and finally the Russian Empire. It's not been an easy journey for Ukraine, and yet when it became part of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, it became really quite Russian. Responsible for over 20% of Soviet output, Ukraine was a breadbasket of the country. It was the heavy industry master. It produced trains, it produced ships. It was able to produce aircraft carriers, one of the few countries in the world that could do so. It had a space industry, it had an aircraft industry. This was a country that was ripe to be on the up once it became independent. But what's happened? Since independence, the Ukrainian economy has shrunk by a third. What the once proud manufacturer of many, many products is now buying them from out with its own borders. It's got no shipping industry anymore. It's got no rocket industry. It's got no aircraft industry. It can't even make cars for itself. A former shadow of where it was. What happened to Ukraine? Well, it became friends with Europe and America. That's what happened to Ukraine. But how can that be a disadvantaged situation? Because obviously before, everything went into Russia and it wasn't really paid for it as such. It was just part of the Russian economy and it was all kept within its own borders. Yes, it was, but everybody was working to the same end. The money was ploughed in to build up the country. The money was ploughed in to help the people and to improve their standard of living. And after it became independent, then the vultures saw it as an opportunity, because a country with that level of sophistication and that level of production, they didn't want it to be able to compete with European companies. They didn't want it to be able to compete with American companies. So they made the entry to the market very difficult for it. In fact, they made the entry to the market so bad that they couldn't really go there. We had very nationalist leaders of Ukraine who were siding with America because they were supporting it, because obviously they like to stir, because anything close to Russia that can get under the Russian skin, they like to poke away at the bear. And that's what they kept doing, and they would feed Ukraine. And the US did what it did to Russia in 1990. Made it easy for them to buy stuff, but harder for them to sell stuff. And then we had things like the coal scam. So Ukraine was really well off for coal, but it wasn't developed, and nobody really wanted to develop it. So Ukraine had to buy coal, and it could buy coal cheaply from Russia, but politically it didn't want to do that because it wanted to be seen as independent. So it would go and buy coal from Pennsylvania and from South Africa. Now imagine you have to ship the coal from halfway around the world to get it into Ukraine, when there are someone on your doorstep who could have either helped you mine your own coal or sold you their own cheap coal. But no, Ukraine had to be seen to be independent, and the same with gas.
In the reverse mode, through the special schemes, the same gas is purchased from Gazprom supplies to the
Hello. Well.
Hello,
Good afternoon,
Ben.
John.
How are you?
Well, yeah, I'm okay, as okay as someone can be who's getting out of here for a few days. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Sorry, had to say that. Did you just send a test?
I didn't, but I think it came through. It was a bit strange.
It's still, yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, I'm getting out of here for a few days, producing lots of content for the other channel, the Swamp Adventures. If you're not subscribed there, I've actually commented in this chat from that channel, so you can go click on that and just go over there and subscribe. That would make everybody's life a bit easier. Come join me on my adventures.
I think I'm going to have to rebalance my camera. It looked a bit dark on the.
Maybe I think you look all right. I mean, it's a little bit muted, but
well, I think that's my new black mist.
You look brooding. You look mysterious.
It's my black mist.
You look.
I spray it on all over.
Have you rubbed Vaseline on the lens?
No, it's a Black Mist Pro filter.
Yes, an actual one over the lens, isn't it?
Yes, indeed it is.
Yes, it's not a digital. It's not digital. It's we're all analog here, baby.
No, this is in camera. This is no post-processing here. You are getting it live and raw.
Yes,
very raw.
And this is my last show until Monday.
Yeah.
And yes, it is. Well, it is not the last time you will see me before Monday.
No, because where will we be on Friday morning?
7:30 a.m. UK time. We will be with the wonderful Sonia Bolton. She asked us to be nice. She did ask us to be nice.
We will be with this young lady.
Yes, this very, very this stunning, this wonderful, this.
Steady on.
Well, I'm being nice.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. You are
I'm being nice.
You are.
What do you want me to do? We were asked, be nice, stroke the ego. And I think it's a well-deserved stroking of one's ego. She's a brilliant broadcaster. We will be there on Friday morning at 7:30 a.m. to do the news review. John,
I would actually go further. I would say not only a good broadcaster, an actual journalist.
Ooh, those are lacking these days, aren't they, John?
Yeah, they kind of are, mate. They kind of are. I mean, I saw someone tweeting something about Jeremy Vile this morning, and he's not a journalist.
No.
He's just a talking head, isn't he?
Well, yeah, and he's a talking head for whatever the government approved narrative of the day is. He's not just a talking head. He's a useful puppet, should we say? Very useful puppet.
It depends on what your use is.
Jeremy, dance!
He does seem to be a bit of a magnet for trouble, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think he just deliberately goes out there to antagonize people and to get in their way.
Of course he does. Let's face it, he is an arsehole. Right? Let's just call it as we see it. He is an arsehole. Oh, did you know that YouTube have walked back their profanity rules?
Have they? I did wonder if things were going to change when Susie left.
Yeah, they have walked back their profanity rules for monetization, and they actually outline in their new policy exactly what isn't and is acceptable as well.
Well,
they're being transparent.
Do you want to share what is acceptable?
Pretty much everything, to be honest.
Even the C word?
They don't like the C word, but if it's used in a decent context, then perhaps. And they also say, please don't add fuck within the first 15 seconds.
Oh,
it's very specific.
It's very tricky because our all-in intro. Does that have it in the first 15 seconds?
Oh, I think we'll just have to do one of these before the intro from now on.
We might have to. Having said
we're
that,
not monetized.
Yeah, we're not monetized, so it doesn't matter. Moving on briefly to the other topic we were going to talk about. This is the thumbnail for the little bit of preamble you had, the pre-roll, the teaser. I think it's actually an 18-minute video.
Yes, it is. You know, I've now watched it through, and I think it's well worth a watch. It's over on the channel right now. This is John's new video talking about Ukraine.
Well, it's more than that. It's telling you how, or actually, it's telling you how come Ukraine is in the state it's in, because Ukraine didn't get there on its own.
Of course it didn't. Of course it might have had a little bit of Western help.
Yeah, a lot of Western help.
Remember, just a little invasion, John.
Yeah, and I think the next video should be even more interesting, but I wouldn't mind feedback on it. If anyone has the time to go and watch it and give me feedback, I would really appreciate it. Whether you like that style of video, whether you think it's worthwhile, whether it's annoying. I think I upped the tempo about halfway through, don't I? Because I re-recorded it.
It's good. It's really good. And speaking of likes, if you enjoyed this show and are enjoying this show, just before John introduces it proper, don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget, as we are live, to hit that share button. Get people to come in and join us as well. Join the conversation. We like to see your comments. John, introduce the show.
And with that, I'd like to welcome one and all to this episode 205 of Chasing Dissent Live with me, John, and with Ben, who will soon be leaving these fair shores of this once proud land.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave.
Nah, we're all right. It's this one that's got that in it, and that one never runs within the first 15 seconds.
Well, we best double check, just to be sure. Just to be sure.
Well, you want me to run it? You can run it right now.
It's a long intro.
Right, 15 seconds of all in. Okay.
Go on then.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink, cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink.
There we go. We're all right. Nailed it.
Taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face.
I love that song. I really love it. And speaking of all in, it's not happening. So we are having an all in on Friday night and a special guest. And we'll see.
My heart skipped a beat there.
And
Told
quite
him who it
appropriate.
is.
Quite appropriate that we introduce a special guest on International Women's Day.
On International Women's Day, and we're toying with an idea on International Women's Day. We'll talk about it later in the show. But we are toying with a little inclusive idea, shall we say, aren't we, John?
We are indeed.
To use a buzzword. Now, what's going on with the suspected arrested in Mexico cartel kidnapping and murder of Americans, or suspect arrested?
Right, so
tell me about it.
4 people went to Mexico. One of them was going for a tummy tuck. The other 2 went to help her out, to be with her, right? And they crossed over into Mexico, and they got, I think, they all got shot. I think
More than they
2
bargained
of them are
for
definitely
by the sounds of it.
What?
More than they bargained for by the sounds of it.
Well, they appear to have been kidnapped by a Mexican cartel, right? And they have been killed. The video was quite disturbing because you see them getting thrown in the back of that pickup truck. And one of the women is definitely alive, but I think the guys are dead at that point.
Right. Well, this is ridiculous. Do you know, this is the reason I don't ever consider Mexico as a holiday destination, John.
Well, you know what, right? I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But there are parts of Mexico, like parts of Detroit, like parts of Chicago, like parts of New York, that you just don't want to go near.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, and it's the same with Egypt, for example. Like, I know people who go on holiday to Egypt quite a lot, but they stay in pretty much basically facilities with armed guards and the like because they don't want to die. Is that really a way to vacation?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. And the same thing I've heard for Mexico. There's some of these beautiful resorts, but you're going there and you're going there under protection. And what? I don't want to go on. This is not something I'm going to enjoy.
Yeah. So the FBI put a reward up for the arrest and information about the return of these people, even before they were known to be dead. And I think an arrest has been made. But
good.
Does that not send the wrong signal?
In what way? Oh, in what way?
Well, you kidnap someone and there's a reward going. So do you not just start kidnapping people and then getting someone to fire people in that maybe did or didn't do it? So you just set up you set up the people you don't like to get done for the kidnapping, and you collect the reward.
That is quite possibly,
Oh,
yeah,
do I just think like a criminal?
Well, you are an ex-police officer, so
Yes, I am.
so thinking like a criminal would be in your blood.
Right. So, and now, Senator Lindsey Graham wants to invade Mexico.
Right.
Well, look at that. U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham stated today he is preparing to present legislation to the Senate that would allow for the deployment of U.S. military forces to Mexico. This comes after 4 Americans were kidnapped, with 3 most likely being killed by the Gulf Cartel on Friday. That's basically just an invasion of Mexico.
Yeah, but
what? But I mean,
I can also see, right, I can see he wants some retribution, and rightfully so, I would say. Retribution should be swift. An invasion of Mexico, maybe not the greatest of ideas, Lindsay, though you are a bloke with the name Lindsay, so...
But, see, this is the thing I don't get. Mexico's a sovereign nation.
Mm-hmm.
They should deal with their own shit.
Do they, though?
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Look, they need...
But then again,
maybe...
if they won't deal with it, does that give Team America World Police automatic right to deal with it? Because that's why we're in the fucking situation that we're in right now.
Listen, I can see the other way, that I put myself in Lindsey Graham's shoes, right? And he's thinking, if we go deliver them some freedom, we won't be jumping the border anymore, because they'll have all the freedom there too.
Freedom install coming up. I didn't even mention who that last slide was from, because oh no, that was from Scent Defender. That's actually quite good, because that's one of the different ones, because I was going to call the show the Aldo Special today.
But yeah, Lindsey Graham is the type, in my view, he's a warmonger. He's an establishment Republican. Just like the establishment Democrats, he's an absolute warmonger. And also, having a war on your own border, just over your own border, you don't have to pay to send all of your stuff like halfway around the world. It's going to be a lot cheaper. You just remember, Lindsay's trying to save them some money.
Good for a local war.
Going for a local war, yeah.
Right.
But Biden might sanction it.
Yeah.
A little invasion.
Who might. Right. So from McHenry here, this is quite interesting. New Zealand records biggest increase in registered deaths in 100 years. Okay. Now, you know what? I don't hate to say it, but we told you so. We told you this was going to happen, because all they could ever do was delay the inevitable. And then by having the restrictions that they had, they were just storing up a world of trouble.
And they did exactly what we did. I assume they stopped people from getting other basic medical needs.
Yeah.
And, we don't even have to factor in the other thing.
No,
because
the other thing probably doesn't help, but...
No, of course it doesn't.
All these things all add together, and you end up with an incredible number.
Yeah, and it's entirely self-inflicted upon our nations. Entirely.
by the now departed Jacinda.
But whether by design for some nefarious plan or through incompetence, I'll let you decide whichever one you think that is. But these excess deaths were imposed upon us. They were. Still, if you look at the death rates for 2020 and the like, and you put it here in the UK anyway, you put it against the last 30 years, it's like slap bang in the middle. Right, and this is supposed to be when we're having like the biggest pandemic ever. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Yeah, the chat's not really going off today. I'd like to see some more people in the chat.
Many people are in. We've got 9 viewers. That's not bad.
No.
Many likes we got, Ben? Many likes we got?
Not enough.
Oh, jeez. I'm just getting my tool. Gonna have to send the boys round.
John, we ain't got the money to send the boys, but we got the tools to do it ourselves.
Yeah. Right. So I'd like to tell you a fairy tale.
Okay.
Well,
so,
Aldo will tell us a fairy tale here, and he's right. Do they think we are utterly stupid?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Breaking Nord Stream sabotage was carried out by a team of 6 people, including 2 divers. Explosives were dropped from a yacht owned by Ukrainians and rented in Poland. Bullshit.
Right, I'm gonna return to the rule of Occam's razor, right? And Occam's razor tells you that the simplest solution is probably the correct solution. And the simplest solution is that the senile old man who went on TV and said he was going to destroy Nord Stream 2.
Yeah, he did.
Probably destroy Nord Stream 2.
I think that's. I mean, this is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, how can any media organization come up with such a ridiculous theory?
Yeah, but then who the hell is Fatux News?
It says I don't know, but that doesn't matter. It's a joint research by Ard Capital Radio, right? The political magazine Contrast, ZWR, and Zeet. Who cares? I mean, it's a fabrication. That's what it is.
Let's take all of them media outlets. Let's put them to one side. Let's take a look at the video of the old man going,
yeah, exactly.
There's not going to be a Nord Stream 2.
There won't be a Nord Stream 2. And how will there not be a Nord Stream 2, Mr. President?
We will be able to do that, is what he said.
Yeah, exactly.
And they did.
Of course they did.
World War III fears as China issues warning to US. Hey, China! Hey, United States! Stop calling me Winnie Pooh! Stop calling me Winnie the Pooh!
Well, I don't want to be, what would one say, a harbinger of doom, right? And I certainly don't want to be accused of being a China supporter.
Oh,
because I mean, how could you even put me in that camp, right?
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that China's doing exactly what Putin's been doing for the last 20 years, right? And they're telling us what they're going to do if we don't fucking change our course. Yeah?
And you know what? You should be scared of the Chinese Communist Party. And I don't want to be a harbinger of doom either.
Scare me.
You should be scared of them.
Scare me,
right?
mate.
Look at the control that they have over 1 billion people in mainland China alone. And that control and fear extends to the people living in this country, living in the United States from mainland China. We've got like Chinese police stations in our country where they're policing their own people. You should be afraid. And that's not hyperbole. These people are well-oiled, they are well-trained, they are calculating, they are vicious, and the Chinese Communist Party are evil. They're evil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm not saying your government isn't evil.
Oh,
But I'm saying they are evil.
show me a government that isn't. That is.
Well, exactly.
Anyway, here we go. Here we go. So, Aldo here, he replies to this. Chinese Foreign Ministry. Why is the United States asking China not to supply weapons to Russia when they themselves are selling to Taiwan? That's true. They are. They're also selling to 64 other countries, as we pointed out the other day. Right? So, Aldo thinks it's because the USA thinks it rules the world, and it's back to Team America World Police. Now, and don't get me wrong, I love America, right? I want to live in America.
I want to live there.
I'd like to die there.
I'd like to
Preferably
die there.
not
I'd like
at
to be-
gunpoint.
I'd like to be buried, somewhere in South Florida would be nice.
Right. But their government is nuts. It's just as bad. I mean, in fact, their government is so nuts that I think, and they're still well, I'm kind of, I don't want to give away my next video, do I?
No, not really. No.
No,
Keep
I'll leave it for the video.
Keep it on lock.
I'll leave it for the video.
Keep it nice, because John's making these very informative videos. He's been doing a lot of work, and as you might have seen of late, I have been slacking a bit. That's because I have been preparing for this trip, and I've been unwell. I've had my tooth out. You saw John last night. You saw what I had to do. Did you?
Yeah, please don't share that.
I won't share it, but trust me, it was painful, and I think you can attest to the fact that what I did was painful.
Yeah.
Right. So I've been in two places, but when I come back from this trip, from Monday onwards, the news, the papers restart, everything like that, and we're just going to hammer more and more content. But John's been making these wonderful videos. They are well worth a watch. They are well worth your time. Go give him your support. And if you've got some criticism of them, or you want to see them done differently, or something like that, leave a comment. Leave a comment. We want to see your input.
It's always good when your friends tell you that you're a commie sympathiser. Yeah. Thanks for that, Adam and Harold. Anyway, Aldo here, again, right, has brought to our attention that the bank runs are still going on. Okay? So, you know how FTX was basically a bank run and they couldn't...
Yeah, it was definitely a bank run.
Yeah. And they couldn't fund their the depositors wanting their money back. So it brought them down. But the Swiss bank, it's still happening there. And that's not a crypto bank.
No.
So they're still struggling. And then... Interesting one, Blackstone, right? Not BlackRock, Blackstone, the big property magnet thing, has defaulted on securities it had on rental properties, office properties in Finland.
Well,
that's quite interesting.
That is quite interesting.
And it's like 530 million or something, so it's not an inconsequential amount.
I think also we're going to see bank runs in the European Union, big time, right? The euro is an unsustainable currency, as far as I'm concerned. Too many countries have adopted it. It's an unsustainable currency. It's an unsustainable market, and it will collapse at some point.
Well, I think you're right, because you've got too many disparate countries. That's the problem, because you've got, like, look at Greece. And then Sweden, you've got completely different markets and different ethics and different people and different production values. The whole thing's completely screwed up.
Yeah, and it's why also when I go to Europe tonight, I'm taking only cash. Because if such a thing were to happen, even a bank run in this country, and I was unable to withdraw any funds, or I was unable to spend on my card while I'm away, I'd be stuck. I'd be stranded. I mean, we had an issue like that when I was away before, where everyone that I was with had no cash. I had only cash. The entire card system on the resort we were on went down. Nobody could spend card anywhere. And old Ben was on top, made a bit of a profit that day.
Jolly good. Right, I was toying with the idea of putting this one in the funnies.
Seriously?
What hostile states?
but still.
Right. Well, why do you want to buy spy balloons? And
why?
Where are you going to fly them over? I mean, really, where are you going to?
They're just going to fucking fly them over Russia and China, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's what they mean.
Yeah, and what's that going to achieve? Maybe Argentina. Maybe they fly them over Argentina.
Look. It looks like we're doing something with the taxpayers' money we're wasting.
Well, it's probably cheaper. It's probably cheaper than putting an extra battalion of soldiers up.
Yeah, you're more than likely. Harold says, "Fly them over the Neverland Ranch." Oh, I've lost my train of thought now. That's actually quite funny. I'll give you that one, Harold. That was a good one.
Here's
Just a
another
spy
one.
balloon over our house blanket.
Here's another one, right, that could have been in the funnies because they express it. Why is this guy on the phone? Is he meant to be on the phone to 111 because he can't get a doctor out? Although that's changing, isn't it?
Well, I don't know about this. You're going to have to tell me about this. I haven't had time to look at the news this morning.
All right, okay, but doctors are all up in arms because they're going to have to give people appointments.
Is that in the slides? Yeah.
I'm not sure if it is or not. I think
It's
it
still
might
weird.
be. But anyway, this one, I read this article and it's like, a single unnamed expert said COVID-19 could go on to cause risk of blood clots and COVID pneumonia could reappear. That was
So
it. That's it. A single unnamed expert.
So it's
That's not an article.
It's Messrs. Susan Michie or Neil Ferguson, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, but they didn't name it.
Or it's one of the independent sage lot who still think
Oh,
they are
Jesus.
credible.
Oh, like
They
Susan Mitchell
still-
and all that. I
Yeah,
mean, she's
Susan
a
Michie.
communist. She is a communist.
Look, I'm going to say this directly to camera. Independent sage are full of shite. They have been full of shite this entire time. They are made up of experts who don't know their arse from their face. They are full of shite. Don't
they're
listen
communists.
to them. Oh yeah, and communists. Yeah.
Right. I'm actually quite this bill in Florida is quite disturbing. So you have to
Florida-
register with the state before you can write about elected officials. Why?
What?
Why? You've got to be a registered blogger with the state in order to write about elected officials. That's not constitutional. That goes
I wouldn't
against
have
freedom
thought
of
so.
speech.
Yeah, no, and if that is from Ron, I'm disappointed in that.
I'm very disappointed in that one.
I'm very. Anybody should be able to write about anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's already laws in place to protect people if you defame them or libel them, right?
Yeah.
So why do you need any? See, this is what gets me. Why do we keep needing more and more fucking laws? Every day they're passing new laws. We haven't changed.
Control.
Yeah, exactly, Ben.
It's all
exactly.
about control.
It is all about control. It's pissing me off.
It's because you need to get in line, right? People like me and you are not really going to be allowed to exist in a decade's time, John.
Mm-hmm.
People who have independent
I know.
thought.
Listen, you're probably going to have to live through some very, very difficult times.
Yeah, I agree, and my children as well.
Yeah,
I've got two children, and me and my wife are talking about the possibility of having a third.
Jesus Christ.
But
Well, I mean, what? Are you stupid?
not yet, John. Not yet. Don't worry, not yet. We're only discussing it, but the point of the matter is, we are all going to have to listen to some difficult times. I want to address the chat. Minuteman GB, that's a new one there. He says, "Afternoon, chaps, enjoying the show."
He
Thank
follows
you
us on.
very much.
He follows us on Twitter. Thank you, Minuteman.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Right, let's move on to our very own Trudy, and I can see the naughty beggar in the chat.
I'm sorry. Have you listened to this? Did you listen to any of it? But Shitrod
Yeah,
is
I
Shitrod, right? I mean,
I listened to it all.
what's he done with his hair? That has Rod made his own hair darker because He just follows Rod. He is Rod.
Listen, John. I'm trying to talk, but I've had so much surgery, my mouth can barely move. Right.
And my
But
face,
remember-
my head is swollen to a massive size because of the amount of Botox that I've had.
Can I translate what shit Rod said here for you right now?
Yeah,
right?
go on.
I'll translate it. I was scared shitless, and I didn't know my government were full of shit. I didn't. Now I know my government was full of shit. Well, I never did implement the mandate, by the way. Didn't do it. Was gonna, but didn't do it.
But he still says the treats were right.
Yeah,
and that's why we came out of it.
Yeah. Well, because he's an idiot.
You don't say.
Charlie Mullins. So we were talking on Monday about the idea of people being the literal embodiment of the NPC meme.
Yeah.
Charlie.
Right.
He is the embodiment of the NPC meme.
Speaking of memes, right?
Right.
What is the American government trying to do? Are they just trying to show themselves up as complete and utter assholes?
Now, I'm going to say something that I didn't think I would say.
Go
right?
on.
The QAnon shaman needs to be released from prison immediately.
Definitely.
Jacob Chansley needs to be released. There's two options here, because obviously the footage has come out now. Tucker Carlson released the footage, and you see him being casually guided. Police are trying to open doors for him.
Yeah, they were taking him to doors, trying the doors that was locked, and then they'd turn around and go and try another door to get him in.
So
the whole and he thanked them. He thanked the police
while he was standing in the pulpit.
Yes.
So there's two options here, as far as I'm concerned, and I've been thinking about this. Right? Either Jacob Chansley needs to be released from prison immediately, apologized to and compensated for the time he has wrongly spent in prison, or every single Capitol Police officer that aided him needs to serve the exact same time.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then, what the hell are they going on about? I mean, even the Republican Party are coming out against Tucker Carlson for showing the footage.
Because look, you say the Republican Party, it's actually Mitch McConnell, and it's the establishment Republicans who want this idea of America First MAGA gone. Right? The establishment Republicans hated Trump just as much as the Democrats did.
Yeah, I mean, we know that, and that's why Trump never got a second term. It was nothing to do with the Democrats and Joe Biden winning. It was the fact that the Republicans actively worked with them.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And this is why what?
Get the guitar out. I meant to tell you.
Oh fucking hell! I don't even know if she's in tune, John.
Just play it, mate.
I need to find a pic. You've put me right on the fucking spot here.
I mean, well, if you turned up earlier like you were supposed to, I might have remembered and given you the heads up.
Sorry, the kids' school was in fucking lockdown, John.
Here we go, people. Guess what?
Oh, it's pretty much in tune.
Go for it then.
Gary's Capital Week. Black Gary's Capital Week. Black Gary's Capital Week. Black Gary's Capital Week. Oh, Gary. You're a fucking moron. It's Black Gary.
Right. So, and I made a gaff there as well, didn't I? Anyway, so Black Gary has been blasted by Tory MPs, quite rightly so, I think, for comparing Suella Braverman's illegal immigration plans to Nazi Germany. Where's the comparison? How can you compare what she's trying to do with what happened in Nazi Germany? I just don't understand.
Because he got likes and retweets.
Yeah.
That's why he did it.
Oh, I know.
He doesn't believe it. Come on, this is the man that said he was racially discriminated against for being black.
I know. And I like that guy's name, the guy that tweeted that. Walter Bishop, not the real one. Do you remember Fringe? Do you not remember? Did you ever watch the TV series Fringe? That was good.
Oh, yes, I did.
Walter Bishop.
Yes, I did. It was, what was his name? old wrinkly guy.
Yeah. Yeah, Walter Bishop.
And the Dawson was in it as well.
Yeah,
wasn't
the
he?
guy out of Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
It wasn't.
yeah.
That wasn't Dawson though. That was his sidekick.
Yeah, the one from yeah, but Black Gary's a fucking idiot. Excuse my language, there, ladies and gentlemen, but yeah, he is. He's an absolute idiot.
I'm going to skip
How
the
this
next slide because we've actually dealt with it. Okay.
What I want to say on this situation is I'm actually going to make a comparison to. Have you heard of an actress called Gina Carano?
Yeah, yeah. You told me about her. Is that not how that plays She-Hulk or something?
No, she was in The Mandalorian. She played Cara.
Oh
Dune
yeah,
in
yeah. She's the WWE person or something like that.
Yeah, MMA fighter.
Right.
I'm
sure my age now. WWE.
Right. WWE still exists. It's
That's
still
it?
a thing. Yeah, it's still a thing and it's still massive. But she made a similar comparison-ish to the way that Republicans were being treated online and blah blah blah. So she said they were being treated like, you know, the Jews, basically.
Yeah.
Disney canned her instantly.
Yeah, yeah, they did.
Black Gary will keep his job.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course he will.
Because he is on the right side of the political ideology that the organization subscribes to. And this is what it comes down to. Gina Carano was a Republican, is a Republican. She now works with and for the Daily Wire, I believe. She's got a contract with Daily Wire. And they actually made a movie just for her. And I don't think it did very well.
Was she in the Hunter Biden movie?
Yes, she was. She was in the Hunter Biden movie.
Yeah.
She played
the fake Joe Biden sniffed her.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah. Oh, so from Connubiline,
I would just say whatever you want, mate. But he's quite right, or she, or whatever. This guy is a nutter.
Tobias Elwood.
Yeah, he's a. I mean, have you seen what he said?
So, the head of the British Parliament's Defence Committee, Tobias Elwood, has called on the country to prepare for a full-scale war with Russia. We need to face Russia directly rather than leaving Ukraine to do all the work. Tobias! No!
See, this is the part. These people do not understand, do they? They don't understand what Russia is.
No, but it's not just that. This is not our fight. And I
know it's not our fight, right? But if you think about it, and this is a little bit of a spoiler from my next video, but America and the UK haven't fought anyone really since the Second World War.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything has been
the Falklands. And...
Yeah, but everything was a police action, right? It wasn't really a fight. And when they did fight, like Vietnam, and they fought people that they should have just been able to gub. When they did fight like Vietnam and Afghanistan and in Korea, you know, they really lost because they didn't win.
Do you know what?
And if you don't win, you must have lost.
I'm hearing what you're saying, and I'm going to completely disregard it, right? And that's not to say what you're saying doesn't have merit. But what I'm saying here is the only point to be made at this juncture is Tobias, and the British government, and the US government, and NATO. I am not willing to go to war for your dick measuring contest. Yeah. I am not willing to send my son when he's older to wars for your dick measuring contest. You don't speak for me. I don't die for you. Do you understand?
I understand what you're saying, right? And I'm going to disregard what you've said because that's not the point. That's not the point here, right? What you have is you have the governments stirring for war, right?
Yes.
When they don't know what it's like to fight a war.
It's not just that. At what point with him on TV?
But it doesn't matter. They don't know what it's like to fight a war. They have this idea in their head, right? When they play with all the little numbers on their soldiers and maps and things, right? That they can do this because our tanks are better. Our missiles are better. Our ships are better.
You don't know what Russia has.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, right? Because they've never taken on a Russia, right?
No.
They've never taken on a Russia.
And my fear and my worry for our boys and girls, let's be inclusive here, in the British Army, is that at what point does this clown, because he's done this more than once, right? He's done this more than once at this point. At what point this clown going on TV and literally stirring for war with Russia, does Putin go, you know what? They've declared war on us. And then they just go for it.
It's a possibility. Well, look at China. What's China saying? Stop what you're doing because you're going to get action taken against you. And to me, that's them saying, fucking back off or you'll get a smack on the nose. That's basically what they're saying. I'm
not supporting Russia here. I'm not supporting China here, but I'm certainly not supporting Elwood. And I am certainly not any one of my friends, family, whatever, that would want to go onto this war or into this war. I would talk them out of it vociferously because it is not your fight. It's not.
And that's exactly the point as well, because it's not our fight. And the thing is, even if you look at Ukraine and look at the first part of that video, we engineered Ukraine to be in the situation it's in, right?
Putin apologist.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously I am, but we engineered it to be in that situation. We engineered everything that happened that led up to what's occurring right now. Yeah. We engineered it, not Putin. He didn't engineer it. He didn't move the Warsaw Pact. He didn't recreate it and move it towards NATO, did he? Did he move the borders of Russia apart from when he took Crimea, right? So, but yeah, every year we move closer and closer to Russia. And we bring in people that we said we were never going to do.
The bottom line is this, Elwood, no. That's the bottom line. Yeah, I will not see my...
He's a nutter.
Well, you know, how the hell are any in this government still sitting in this government? How the hell have the people not removed them? I don't get it. This country is weak. I'm sorry, but it is.
Yeah.
These people have walked all over us.
Of course the country's weak, and other countries are starting to sense it, aren't they? Because look at Argentina.
But like I say, these people, these 650 parliamentarians have walked, let's just take the last 3 years, have walked all over you, have taken a massive dump on you. For many of you, destroyed your businesses, caused suicide, stopped you being able to see your family. And now you find out and people say, oh, it's not relevant. But now you're starting to see, and this isn't even addressed at the people that watch this show, but you're starting to see that it was all for naught. Are you not angry? Are you not upset?
It didn't really affect me much, you know, so I just let's just move on.
That's what
what they say, yeah.
That's the attitude. And I'm sorry, but you lost years with your family. Your kids lost education. Maybe you had a relative that died in a care home you could only see for a fucking window. You had family members who took their own lives.
Yeah, I mean...
How are these people
and speaking of
still
things like
sitting?
That, speaking of things like that, I'm glad Albert's feeling good about it.
Fuck Albert. Honestly, I don't give a care. I don't care what these people say.
So as Bell reports here, I truly think the best days of Pfizer are ahead of us.
Well, they've made a shit ton of money.
That's so good. Well, I mean, but he thinks the best days are ahead of them because he'd already made so much money that he thinks COVID was like a rehearsal. A rehearsal for what? I thought COVID was a 1 in 100 year event. You know, I mean, the last one was what, 1918, the real big one, Spanish flu.
Do you know what?
I know.
I'm so over these farmer arseholes. I'm so over them. I'm so over all of this. And you know, that's why we try and avoid talking about fucking COVID. Because I know we haven't moved on, and you shouldn't either. but there are bigger fish to fry at this current time. And we've got to put the world to rights. And somehow we've got to try and make these people smile and laugh during this show. And I told you on the last show, I'm becoming more cynical. And
that's just me rubbing off on you.
Maybe I think basically I need this break that I'm going on for my own sanity.
Don't be such a pussy. Anyway,
if
moving
anybody,
on.
No, before we do move on, because if anybody would like to buy me a glass of wine whilst I am in France, you can do so either by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Chasing Dissent, or you can make a one-time donation or become a subscriber at Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/Chasing Dissent. Or you can make a one-time donation via PayPal at paypal.me. /Chasing Diss, DISS. Nobody has to donate anything, but if you are enjoying the show and you think I deserve a glass of wine, John deserves a beer perhaps, feel free to join us. If you make a donation on Ko-fi during the show, it comes up on the screen and a robot voice calls it out, and if you write a message, you can type any message you want when you make a donation. It reads out the message for everybody to hear whilst we're live, so it's entirely up to you if you want to do that. We don't mind either way. Anyhow, let's move on.
Right, that still cheer you up.
Will it now?
Yeah. Right, so YouGov, forget the conspiracy theories. 15-minute neighborhoods are popular in Britain. Popular. No, they're popular, right? Because they've done a poll, and here's the amenities that Britons want within a 15-minute walk from their home. A bus stop. 90% want a bus stop, right? Hold on.
Further out than 15 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Secondly, a post box, right? A post box, right? Mm-hmm. 3, a pharmacy, right?
Yeah.
4, a GP surgery. Why? Why? What's the point? Oh no. Well, actually, the new law is going to make doctors have to give you an appointment, so maybe that's an idea. And
beautiful.
4, and fifthly, a park, right? Now, I would contend that list tells me exactly what age they polled. And I think it was people over 80.
I think you.
Because who the hell still writes letters?
I did use the postal service at the weekend. Actually, I did.
Yeah. Did you write a letter and post it?
No, I sent my old phone back.
Yeah, exactly. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing.
Sent me, and I went into the post office to do that.
Exactly, because you need the receipt. You're not going to stick that in a post box. So right. But they don't make it easy for you, do they, YouGov, you know?
How does that tell you that a 15-minute city is popular?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't tell you anything, right? Okay.
It just tells you that people want that within walking distance of their home. That doesn't tell you that a 15-minute city is popular.
It tells you nothing. Now, the other thing, right? After you've went into the link and read all through the article and still cannot find the sample size, right?
Yeah, it's probably about 40
and
people.
Then you download the PDF and then dig into the tables and you get the sample size, right?
Go on.
Now, how many people live in Britain?
It's about
70 million, roughly these days, right?
73 million.
2,000 people polled.
Well done, YouGov.
2,000.
Well done.
That's not a poll. You might as well stick a dart up your arse.
And you know what? Our wonderful Natasha here makes a very, very good point as well. She says that isn't what the people polled were asked. Really wasn't. Do you want 15-minute neighborhoods monitored by number plate recognition or CCTV, or do you want a few local services within a reasonable walk? And like I said, that does not show you that 15-minute neighborhoods are very, very popular. YouGov, you are lying through your fucking teeth once again. Sorry.
They are, yeah.
We only call it how we see it on this show.
Well, let's face it, their founder lies, doesn't he? Oh no, he didn't lie. He just forgot to pay 3 million quid in tax.
It actually rose up to over 4.
4.5. I think you're right.
Keep going. Imagine having £4.5 million pounds.
No, but imagine having a £4.5 million tax bill.
Imagine the amount of money you must have to have a £4.5 million tax bill.
The mind boggles. But anyway, right, moving on.
I would just like, maybe a £50. £50 would do me. I don't even have that.
Yeah, you do.
Right now I don't.
You did the other day.
I sent it to euros.
I sent you money from Kofi.
Turned it to euros.
Yeah, well, you still got it then, haven't you?
It's not pounds.
It doesn't disappear.
It's not pounds.
It was pounds. It doesn't matter what it is
now. Now it's monopoly money.
Fucking waster. And you used to be able to mock the euro, right? You used to be able to mock the euro because it was made of plastic and had that stupid feel about it. And they used to stick together, and you were never quite sure if you were giving someone 1 or 100 bills.
Yeah.
You know? But now we are in the same boat.
We are in the same goddamn boat. Dagny Taggart says, "You've invited Dagny on the show."
Well, I'd asked her if she'd be prepared to come on our show because I've got a little thought. I had a little thought today.
Are you sure she's a she?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think so. But anyway,
he doesn't even know now.
Who cares? But anyway, this is quite important. Ukraine has asked the United States to expand military assistance and transfer cluster munitions banned over almost the entire world, which the armed forces of Ukraine want to drop from drones on Russian forces. Now,
so Zelensky's going to accidentally bomb Poland with these now?
Well, no, but no. Even if he does what he said what he wants to do, which is drop them on Russian forces, that means he's dropping cluster munitions on his own territory, right? And this is the kind of thing that what's her name, Princess Di, used to go on about in Africa, because kids would go along and pick up bombs, and next thing you know, they've lost their arms and legs.
Yeah, but Zelensky's a man of the people.
This guy was elected on a peace mandate. He was going to bring peace to the Donbass, and instead all he did was increase the shelling.
So Jacob Rees-Mogg says we were denied the evidence. This is coming out of these so-called lockdown files, right?
Yeah.
So he's saying that he was a minister. He was in the cabinet at the time, and he's saying that there was just 4 senior ministers who made all of the key COVID decisions, and all of the other ministers were not given evidence to even make an anti-lockdown case.
I think he's a liar.
I'm not so sure.
No, I think he's a liar.
Okay.
Why would he not be given the evidence?
I don't know. Is the answer? I simply don't.
I think he's just trying to save his own ass and make himself look. It wasn't my. It's a big boy did it and ran away defense. That's what it is.
Yeah, but once again, when
he's
it comes
a liar.
To these, but listen, I'm gonna make a case
he's
for
a liar
him because you have to play a bit of devil's advocate sometimes.
On you go.
I haven't heard Boris or Hancock or Rishi or anyone come out and say he's lying.
I haven't heard them say anything. That's funny, isn't it? They haven't said anything. You haven't heard anything. Well, Boris went. Where did Boris go? He went to. Did he go to Finland or something?
Do you know what? There's an Iron Maiden song. You know the band Iron Maiden?
Yes, I've heard of them.
There's an Iron Maiden song. It goes a little something like this. Run to the hills.
Yeah, basically, Boris appears to be on a self-promotion tour of Europe, right?
Yep.
And the rest of them aren't saying anything.
No, they're fleeing like rats on a fucking sinking ship, aren't they?
Yeah.
And do you know all of these people calling these lockdown files a psyop, right? I'm not going to agree that they are, but I will say that once again, I don't really trust Oakeshot's motivations. I think it could be financially motivated. I don't know, but at this point, they're still not denying these. I mean, one of them, what was it? The one overnight, I don't know if it's in the slides, but the one overnight is Whitty telling people that COVID was not deadly enough for an accelerated treatment rollout.
Okay.
So why
But, I mean,
was
the
there
thing
an
is-
accelerated treatment rollout?
But the thing is, what they all stood there and said more or less exactly at the podium what they've said in these files. They've all actually said these things, or they've been on the government website.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's nothing new coming out here, and people that are jumping on them and going, "Look what they did," they're going, you know, it's not fucking new. We told you this 2 years ago.
We did, and you know,
We showed you it 2 years ago.
We showed you reasoned evidence. We picked through it all. We listened to actual experts like Carl Hennigan and Sunetra Gupta, and you know, these are professors of evidence-based medicine and the likes. Andrew Neil now somehow believes and called us cranks for listening to before.
He didn't just call us quacks. Andrew Neil wanted people punished.
He did,
He wanted them punished
and you
for
know,
not
if he's
taking things.
He did. He's a flip flopper. He's running to the hills.
Yeah.
You know what? We should petition Iron Maiden to allow us to use audio clips from that song, because I think it's required.
I think that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah. Let's,
Are they as litigious as Metallica? No.
I don't think so, because you know, Maiden are one of those massive metal bands that are still really rather obscure to the general public. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know.
They're quite forgettable, whereas Metallica aren't.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you cannot beat Deep Purple.
Yeah, well, fair enough. But you know what Bruce Dickinson moonlights as, don't you? The singer of Iron Maiden.
What?
He's a pilot, a commercial airline pilot.
Oh, good for him. Maybe he likes it.
He does like it.
Anyway, I'm moving on to a tweet here from a guy called The Collator, right?
Fucking stroking your own ego now, aren't you, John?
No, but I posed the question and only one person's actually said it was a good question, I think, who was Teresa, right?
Right.
One of our other followers. But the question here is, and why, and this was posed to the guy that I had to tell off because his religion gives him an out for actually having sexual relations with goats, right?
Right.
So here's the question. This is the book involved in Wakefield incident,
Yes.
right? According to Islam, the Quran must remain in the original Arabic language. So how can that book be a Quran? Because it's in English.
Once again, very good question posed. But what does it matter?
No,
because
I know what you're saying, and I agree with that. If your property, you can do what you like with it. Right?
I'll wipe my fucking ass with every single page if I want.
Yeah, exactly. But that, as far as their religion goes, isn't even a Quran, and yet they're making death threats to someone because of it. That's out of order. And what's the police doing about it?
Sean Finch from Delivering Liberty has arrived, says, just finished my show. Here is my post-show show. Never massively loved Deep Purple, but some great songs. Love the song Burn. David Coverdale singing.
David Coverdale.
Yes. Yeah, well,
indeed.
Hi, Sean. How you doing? Hope you are well. Hope you had a good show yourself. Let's move on, shall we? We are not pressed for time, but I need to get out of the country as soon as humanly possible. So I can't wait.
Right, so Mark Changizi's been he seems to have been unleashed a bit because I think he's getting more followers now, so he's not been as censored as he has been.
I keep picking up new followers.
Good for you.
Yeah, I keep picking up new followers, and I've had
I'd rather pick up new subscribers.
Yeah, do it.
And stop leaving.
You break our hearts every time you do. Good night, Natasha, because she works the night shift, so she's going to have a little sleep now. I hope you've enjoyed the show so far, and thank you for being a fantastic moderator as always, even if you didn't do any moderation. So Mark Changizi says lowest excess deaths in Europe over 2020 to 2022 goes to Sweden.
And then some Plonker comes on and goes, yeah, but they also took a lot of the treats, right? Well, yeah, they did and they didn't. They took like 75%.
There weren't any treats in 2020, mate.
Well, no, there weren't. But the thing is, there's no real correlation between death rates and treatment rates.
Yeah,
I mean, they're all over the place. You know, they are all over the place, literally.
You're right, and you know what? It just goes back to how I describe it all the time, right? Because we shut down our health services and we went fucking mad, people died of things that they needn't have died of. Heart attacks, strokes, cancer, the like.
Mm-hmm.
And Sweden didn't do that. So of course, we don't even have to factor in COVID. We don't have to factor in the treats. Loads of people died because they were unable to be diagnosed with cancer, because they had strokes and nobody was there to treat them, because they had heart conditions, heart attacks, heart problems, and the departments at the hospital were closed. That it's gonna lead to a massive increase and spike in excess mortality. It was always going to. The government were told this, and now we...
Well, some people used to say that the hospitals weren't terribly busy during the and whether that was right or not, we never knew, right? But bear with me. But one of Matty's tweets said something about hospitals, didn't they?
Go on him.
Did he not offer to take some patients from France because he had spare capacity in the south of England?
This was in these lockdown files, yeah.
Yeah.
And guess where I am, by the way?
South of England.
And everybody that every single person that called me a liar when I told you these hospitals here
Granny killer
were not busy, everyone that called me a liar, why then is he saying we have capacity in the south of England, we'll take patients from France? Oh wait, that's because everything I said was fucking true.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Right. And this is Keek. Keek has the slide for us. Patients must. This is. I think it only applies to England and Wales, right? Because apparently we need to watch the Scottish hustings because they're comedy gold. Did you see Kate Forbes asking Humza why he was qualified to be First Minister after being crap at everything he's previously done? You can't. On that occasion, she's right, but she's no spring. Well, she's no sharpest tack in the box either, is she?
No, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Anyway, Keek says patients must now get a GP slot or be referred elsewhere on the first occasion they call. Right?
Fantastic.
But right. GPs have, however, threatened to strike over the insulting. Now, I can only assume it's insulting because the NHS England is wanting them to actually do some freaking work.
Do you know, I'll tell you, GPs, what was insulting? Closing your doors to patients, making them wear full PPE, if they could even get in the door.
Yeah. That
was insulting. Then continuing to keep your doors closed to patients. You know, I go to my GP surgery. I still can't just walk in the door. Still can't just walk in the door. What's insulting is the way you have treated the general public over these last 3 years. What's insulting is the fact, we can go back to what I said about our excess mortality and the people that weren't diagnosed with cancer because you wouldn't see them. That's insulting. This is right. So shut up, buck up, zip up, and do what you're meant to do, or go quit.
Yeah, go and get another job.
I'm sorry to talk so candidly here, but this is ridiculous. Look how they have treated the general public over the last 3 years. Not having it.
Yep.
Striking, insulting, you assholes. Sorry.
Okay. Right, we're moving on to the pennies. There's not as many today. I don't know how this guy managed this because What did he hit to get it up like that?
I don't know if that's a Photoshop, but it says Pfizer on the box as well.
Well, Viagra is made by Pfizer.
I know it is, but still, you know what?
It's a cracker though, because I mean, I'm trying to work out if that lorry's tall enough to have hit that bridge.
No.
It's a cracking position to put it in.
Yeah,
But anyway, even if it's fake, it's funny. This one's a cracker. Giggle Pops gives us this. OnlyFans model Carla has been left horrified after she found out her father was paying to see her explicit content, and he even paid extra money for personal requests. And do you know how she found out?
She heard her mum in the background.
She heard her mum talking to me. Right. And what kind of family is this? And do they live in Alabama? You've heard about an Alabama hot pocket, haven't you? Don't look that up. Don't look it. If you're at work, don't look it up. It's not safe for work.
Look, I wonder if we were to look down, does Carla have webbed feet?
She might have. That's definitely a bit dodgy, isn't it?
Yeah, just a bit, yeah.
Now, my dad was a parity toolmaker. Brings us an important message, and he's got a point here. Who would he report this lorry to for hate speech?
Me. I'll take the report.
Oh God, I hate this place. Can
I'll
you
take
hear
the
that in the
report.
background? No.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody's knocking down your wall.
No, that's the guys who have a unit across the other side of the estate who are throwing stuff literally out of their van into their skip, and they do this every morning and every day. Fucking retarded.
I was just going to call them arseholes, but yeah, I think you said it.
Right, so this is quite disturbing. So Sandra sends us this tweet. I asked Chat GPT to write a poem urging people not to get vaccinated, and I'm astounded with what it came up with. And, you know, it's incredible.
Should I read it out?
Well, yeah, you read it out. You read it out.
Though rumours spread like wildfire and fears are sparked within our hearts, the science tells a different story, a story of hope that never departs. Yes, there may be risks involved, but the chances are incredibly small compared to devastation caused by COVID-19 affecting us all. So let's not give in to fear or to conspiracy theories and lies. Instead, let us choose to protect ourselves and those around us by getting vaccinated. And wise? This AI is pretty dumb. For Pfizer and other companies have done their utmost to ensure our safety and health, and we can trust in their rigorous testing and the knowledge gained from their wealth.
There you go. What do you think of that?
Well, it's like the same thing if you sort of ask ChatGPT to say something nice about Donald Trump. It does, or say...
Yeah, well, if you ask it to say anything about Donald Trump, it'll say things like it's programmed not to talk about political things, right? And it doesn't favour one political party over another. Whereas if you ask it to say something about Biden or Kamala Harris or something like that,
it'll praise them to the hill.
It will give you a glowing reference for them. Yeah. So the whole thing, it's not AI, right? It's not intelligent. It's artificial, but it's just programming, and it's just been programmed with the woke virus. And that brings us to our last and very, very, very disappointing, very disappointing. I mean, I actually had a bit of a crush on her when I was younger.
I tell you what, this is what happens when plastic surgery, catches up with you.
Jesus Christ. I actually thought it was Mickey Rourke at one point.
Well, it does kind of look like Mickey Rourke, doesn't it?
Do you remember 9.5 Weeks?
Yes, I think so. Back when he was...
She can play the wrong part now.
It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. But like I said, this is what happens when you have plastic surgery, because she clearly had a load of plastic surgery, right?
She looks a bit like Marvin the Paranoid Android, or even actually the android out of Red Dwarf.
Crichton.
Yeah, she looks a bit like
Just imagine
Crichton.
her walking around, Mr. Lister, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, Robert Llewellyn.
Robert Llewellyn, yes.
She's going to go on to do, what's it, Scrap Heap Challenge or Scrap Yard Challenge?
Quite disappointing, isn't it?
Oh, poor Kimmy. Right, but also, I do have a question for
Go on.
for Kimmy. Why the fuck do you name your daughter Ireland?
I've no idea. Maybe she was conceived there.
That's what the Beckhams do, isn't it? It's like Brooklyn,
Brooklyn,
Romeo,
New York.
Yeah.
No, they don't have anyone called New York, do they?
Don't they have a kid called like Harper 7? I'm pretty sure.
Were they watching a program? Or
I've no idea,
I'm thinking of Blake 7, perhaps.
But Elon Musk has got a kid called X.
Aye, and a number. Is there not a number involved as well?
I'll tell you what, if me
Is
and
it
the wife
not
have another
a bit like that THX 1138 thing?
maybe, but if me and the wife do have another kid, I'm petitioning hard to just call it number 3.
Call it thing. Call it thing 3.
Just number 3.
Call it it. Yeah.
I mean, I can do the cousin it. If you just give me a second, I can do the cousin it.
Oh, careful! You nearly exposed your bald patch. Yeah, thanks for that. Right. Okay. So
right.
there we go.
No, before you even go, we need to talk, don't we? We need to talk about International Women's Day and our little idea.
Yeah.
We are thinking about adding a bit of diversity and inclusion. And specifically interviewing and bringing in ladies every now and again. We don't know what we're going to call it. We might call it Ladies' Night.
See, my thought was a play on words.
Go on then.
Which was the opposite of loose women, right?
Yeah.
Because that's a quite a derogatory title. But I wanted to call it tight women, because I wanted you all to be half cut while you were doing it.
John, well, I never. You want to take advantage of me?
No, I just want you to be half cut.
Sophie says, gutted, missed the live. Well, Sophie, you are here at the end.
Yeah, still here.
We are still here. So yeah, it's a little idea we are playing with. We thought we would announce here on International Women's Day.
Tell us what you think. Respond. Jump in the comments. Give us a comment. All these things help. They help to promote the algorithm.
They do. And obviously leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And one more time, if you would like to buy me a lovely glass of wine, you can do so by donating at patreon.com/Chasing Dissent, or indeed Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/Chasing Dissent. Or you can make a one-time donation, paypal.me/Chasing Dis.
DISS.
Dis. DISS. John.
Ben.
I have thoroughly enjoyed this show, and I am going to miss you.
Oh, you'll see me on Friday morning.
I'll see you briefly on Friday morning for half an hour. Yeah.
Sonia Bolton's Rise.
Yeah. Sean Finch says, doing a ladies' night, but make it super sexist.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not making it sexist. I just that would be up to them.
Sean,
they might make it sexist. What?
Actually,
what?
Sean Finch is journalist for UNN, right? Bloody good guy. I've met him loads of times on the ground. We've had a laugh. We've also had disagreements, especially when it comes to things like the UFP. I think we're now very much on the same side when it comes to that. But Sean, would you like to come on the show at some point?
There you go.
Right. Message me on Twitter if you would like to do it. And John. Ben. People. I'm just trying to stretch it out a bit because I am going to miss you and I'm going to miss the audience.
Oh, with that, I'd like to thank everyone for attending this episode 205 of Chasing Dissent Live with me, John, and with our soon-to-be departed friend, Ben. It's been great for you.
For you?
You can see the writing on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation. Too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.